नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी था। नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी। नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी। नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी। नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी।
Yeah, so back to my presentation. So as you can see, the volume is divided into 5 sections, and
नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी।
first with images of paintings and reproductions that appeared over a period of time. Yeah, so back to my presentation. So as you can see, the volume is divided into 5 sections, and
नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी।
first with images of paintings and reproductions that appeared over a period of time. Yeah, so back to my presentation. So as you can see, the volume is divided into 5 sections, and
नहीं मेरा प्राइमरी।
first with images of paintings and reproductions that appear over a period of time. Yeah, so back.
कुछ नहीं कुछ नहीं। हाँ, yes, ठीक है। अभी, हाँ,
Yeah. Anyway, so I've forgotten where I was, but never mind. uh, yeah, so I still love the Marg volumes. I still love handling them, the paper and the typeface, etc. Made it, a unique experience really reading these volumes. And um, however, I think there's another book that I like to reference over here, which is Ellen O'Brien's edited volume, Modern Art in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. I think this is a volume that made me think differently about how the history of modernism could be taught. Because today you cannot look at it in a singular kind of a fashion, because there's a lot of recent work that's been done on how these networks of modernism emerged during the colonial period, and how there were these cities across the world that had people moving from one location to another. And modernism really is something that has to be thought through very, very differently. And there are two terms that she uses in her book, which is this idea of futurity rather than looking back at tradition. And modernism, as you all know, really means making a break with tradition very deliberately, a kind of a self-referential kind of a notion of how to make a break with tradition. And so, yeah. So when I started looking at this volume, I started referring to John Ruskin's 5-volume discussion on landscape painting that was published around 1845. And he uses this word in a very self conscious kind of a way. And if you actually look at the word landscape. This is something that emerges in the 17th century, and most people would suggest, or most art historians have suggested, that landscape painting really was the beginning of abstraction and a departure from historic, history painting and other forms of genres of art. And long before art education systems were introduced into India through the colonial art school, you had a number of artist travelers coming to India. Many of them were trained artists, but there were also people who worked as painters and draftsmen for the British Army. Many people who came as seamen as well worked as draftsmen and landscape painters in India. They were, in some sense, supplementing the documentation project of the colonial enterprise.